But most of all, we try to relax, because what does it matter? If you are not relaxed, nothing else matters, right? Perfect. I keep seeing more people joining. I think it's a Greek thing, like Alex and I were both Greeks. Usually we are, maybe I could say, like, personally me, I'm traditionally very late. So I always give some slack to people that are a little bit late. So let's wait a couple of more minutes and then we'll start with the show. And yeah, of course, as always, feel free to talk a little bit on the live chat and see how you're doing. How is everyone's day? Okay guys, I think it's time to start our webinar. Let's do it.
If you recently checked your retirement account balance and you freaked out, don't worry, you're not alone. But what you do next is critical for your retirement. In this video, we're going to talk about the 3 things that you need to do in order to save your 401k IRA during a market crisis. I am John V, CEO and founder of Agent Risk Wealth Management, and if you haven't subscribed yet, click that red subscribe button. The first thing we have to do is stop worrying about the future. I know it's much easier said than done. But how do we do that? We do that by making sure we have enough money in the bank. The real question is how much money? The standard advice when the whole world is...
Oh, sorry guys, it seems like our sound went down. Let me check 1 second to see what went wrong and try to fix it. It seems that we couldn't hear any sound while we were talking. Let me know if that's the case. 1 second. Hello Paul, I just saw you that you logged in. So yeah. Let's see, let's wait a couple of minutes because yeah, the sound, people couldn't hear us. One second, I'm trying to see what happened. 1 second. One second. Yeah, I see, like, some people could listen, but there was echo. So let's try it again and see if hello, and see if everything works. Worst case, we'll send the video after the call via email, and we'll continue with our demo. The important thing is that at least you can hear us right now. So yeah, let's start and see if that fixes things. Let's try to start again.
If you recently checked your retirement account balance and you freaked out, don't worry, you're not alone. But what you do next is critical for your retirement. In this video, we're going to talk about the 3 things that you need to do in order to save your 401k IRA during a market crisis. I am John V, CEO and founder of Agent Risk Wealth Management, and if you haven't subscribed yet, click that red subscribe button. The first thing we have to do is stop worrying about the future. I know it's much easier said than done. But how do we do that? We do that by making sure we have enough money in the bank. The real question is how much money? The standard advice when the whole world is not under quarantine is to have 6 months to a year of expenses in your savings account. That means if your monthly expenses are $5,000, it's good to have $30,000 to $60,000 in your bank account. But what happens when there is a market crisis? Statistically, it takes 8 months to a year and a half for a diversified portfolio to recover from a market crash. At least that's what happened in 63% of the times when we experienced a market crash in the past. A portfolio that had exposure only to equities would have taken around 8 years to recover from the dot-com bubble in 2000 and 6 years from the crash in 2008. As a good measure, it is prudent to have at least 2 years of expenses in our savings account and try to reduce any non-essential spending. Market dips is where fortunes are made, but where also fortunes are lost if we act emotionally. When I was in the Bay Area learning how to fly a plane, my instructor told me it's a very good practice whenever I have a passenger to go through the whole process. You know, taking off, landing, don't talk when I try to talk with the air traffic, and most importantly, try to explain that there might be a turbulence during our trip, and this is absolutely expected and usual. The same mentality we need to apply to our financial plan. You should have a plan before being up in the air, and your advisor, if you have one, should be your co-pilot. My fellow financial advisors, don't be like commercial airlines that tell you all of a sudden, tighten your belt, no pun intended, whenever there is a rough patch. Communicate, engage, and inform your clients. Let's go back to having a plan. Having a plan is a fantastic advice if you already have a plan. But what can you do when you're not prepared? Relax. Try not to look and obsess over your portfolio. Try to meditate. Go for a run, maybe for a walk. Try to start a new hobby. Looking your portfolio going up and down all the time, thinking whether you should liquidate or not, is a recipe for disaster. Remember, the markets are not moving linearly. They are volatile and unpredictable. If you don't stick to your financial plan, there are high chances that you'll miss out on the market recovery, plus any potential dividends or tax credits if you have a taxable account. Talk to your financial advisor, create a plan of attack, and hang in there. The first mistake most investors do is having the wrong risk profile. When the markets are doing great, everybody's aggressive. The moment there is volatility in the market, they want out. The second all-time classic mistake is trying to readjust your risk appetite during a market crisis. Have you ever been to a supermarket while you are very hungry? You usually end up buying all this unhealthy crap unless you have and you follow a list. That's exactly what happens when you decide to change all of a sudden your financial plan. You are not thinking clearly. You are not thinking long term. You will end up selling assets at a loss. A terrible strategy for tax-sheltered accounts. My advice if you want to readjust your risk profile is not to take money out, but to put more money in, provided that you have enough cash reserves. That way you are buying at a lower price and your future self will definitely thank you. Provided you meet the requirements, you can put $6,000 to your IRA for 2019 before the 15th of April and another $6,000 for 2020. This is $12,000 that you can use right now for your tax-sheltered account. You can literally buy stocks at a discount. To summarize, have enough cash reserves, relax, buy more. If you liked this video, please subscribe and leave some comments down below. Thank you and see you next time.
Whew. What do you guys think about the video? For those that have been with us, it's the first time that they've been with us. I have to say that it is a tradition now, like literally, there is a tradition that ever we have a live webinar, I mess something with the sound. Usually it's muted, usually it's a wrong level. So today it was like destined to happen again. I think it should be our little inside thing. And the funny thing is that at some moments, sometimes when we're doing demos, like the last time, we were naming all our portfolios. John forgot his mic on and what have you. So now I'll switch, I'll stop talking and I'll switch to Alex, and let me do some introductions for the 1,000 of people that already have logged into the web channel. Alex, I am John V, the founder and CEO of Agent Risk Wealth Management, and next to me right there is Alex Lukisas. He's the founder and CTO of Agent Risk. And yeah, Alex, you can talk a little bit more because, as always, I monopolize everything. So you can talk a little bit about what we're going to see now, and I'll switch to a full screen so we can you can tell us a little bit about demo and stuff. Alex, can you hear us? Let's see if Alex can hear us. 1 second.
Perfect. Thanks, John. So as we Yes?
Yeah. Go, Alex.
Alright, let's switch back. Alright. Okay. So, yeah, as John said, today we're covering tax shelter accounts, maybe 401ks or IRAs. And for many people, those accounts are the most important investment accounts. Because they are the accounts that they have their main life savings and investments for their retirement. And it's very natural, when the markets go very south, like the way they've gone in the last couple of weeks, people get panicked, right? It is exactly the time when having someone that's an expert by your side, wealth manager, financial advisor, makes all the difference. So you make sure you don't do any panic decisions. Similar to the example, buying stuff at the supermarket when you're hungry, you're probably going to buy the wrong things. The same thing if you're making changes to your portfolio when things are really in panic mode, you can also make very bad decisions that can impact you in the long run. So today we're going to do a little bit of a demo, and hopefully things work as we wanted to. And in this demo, I'm going to show a product that we built for financial advisors. So there's some of the tools that we have internally for our company that help us manage a lot of accounts at once with barely any effort. We found a lot of advisors wanted these tools, and in this case, we want them to very quickly be able to adapt to their clients' portfolios during this crisis and make the right moves so they can bring the most value to their clients. In this demo, I'm going to show a portfolio that is it's an actual portfolio from a customer. Of course, we can share names and everything because SEC doesn't allow that. But we're going to show how, for just one portfolio, one advisor can import it and very quickly make adjustments without much effort. In the same way they can do it for all their clients, 100, 200 clients. All right. And I'm going to switch to this situation. All right, perfect. Okay, so this is what a financial advisor user of this product sees. So the product is called Agent Risk Overlay. And this is kind of what happens where, the first time you log in. So the user can upload the portfolio, and at this point we assume one portfolio is for one customer, and we made the assumption that we don't want to know anything about their clients. So we don't know if this portfolio, what the name of the client is, what's their email, what's their phone number, nothing. So we just upload the portfolio here using a CSV file. Most, if not all brokers allow you to export any account into a CSV, and this is exactly what we got here. So I'm gonna choose the file to upload, and it's this guy right here. So at this point, we went and got live prices for any one of these assets here. As you can see, it has a bunch of ETFs in this IRA, and bought at various points of time. And what we're going to do is, because this is a tax sheltered account, we're going to disable tax loss harvesting. But this tool allows also to do very quickly tax loss harvesting, and we've already done one webinar about this topic. You can go ahead and click subscribe to the channel, and you'll see the previous webinar we did on that live demo. I'm pretty sure we're going to do another one in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and disable for now, and just focus on rebalancing, right? So in this case, a client comes in as an IRA with this advisor, and he feels that their account is maybe too aggressive or not too aggressive enough, or they want to put actually more money. As John mentioned in the video, it's a good time to put money in an IRA this time before end of the tax, before the April 15th deadline, because this lowers your income, your taxable income. So let's assume this advisor at this point just wants to adjust any of these assets' weights, so to better adapt to what their client's risk profile. So right now, you see we have pretty self-explanatory options. We want to run this rebalancing, maybe a reporter, which is good enough, and maybe we want to always run it because we don't care if we're making small changes to this portfolio, because it's tax sheltered, we can buy and sell without any tax consequences. So let's do this. So we're reduced this ETF. We think it's pretty high, so we're reduced it quite a bit. Let's say to 25, and we can see here below that we need to make some changes to bring everything to 100%. We're going to reduce the cash because we think now we need to buy more things in the dip, and then maybe we're going to buy more of this asset, bring it up to 100%, right? I need to play a little bit with the buttons here, and it's fine. So that's, according to the advisor, we see that he took this asset down from 31.95 to 25.22, reduced all the cash position to 0 because the client needs to buy more assets right now, and increased this position to 19.36. I'm going to go ahead and save this portfolio, and this will be Alex's first webinar. We always use funny names for our portfolios in our webinars. So what's happening right now? So the system tries to find the optimal set of trades that is going to present to the client, to the advisor rather, so that they can very quickly execute these trades on their broker account. So this is one portfolio that we're doing, but imagine this advisor might have 100, 300 clients, and it's pretty easy to do it for one client, but then things become very cumbersome if you want to do it for everyone in your practice. Right now, so this, as you see, the system did all everything that I was explaining, and it says exactly, and it did exactly what we were saying, right? So it stalled some of this to reduce the allocation down to 25.22. If you remember correctly, that's exactly the thing that I configured it to, and this gave me some, in order to buy more of this asset, to bump up the allocation to 1936. So what does execute mean? So right now we do not, because we don't know who the customer is and what broker they are and whatnot. The way we phrase it, we do the 95% of the work for the advisor. So we give them all the things that they need to execute, and then the idea is here they would open a new tab, they would go to Schwab, TD Ameritrade, whatever broker they use, and go ahead and execute these trades. We do have an option to export all of them to a CSV, so you can take all of the recommended trades and do it in later time of the day, give it to your assistant to do it, and things like that. So I'm going to head and execute this trade. This means I'm going to go and do a sell order for this asset on my broker, and this recommended price, which is the current price of this asset that's at the market right now. And this, I'm going to go ahead and do the buy one after this. So it's pretty much calculating that the money that we had from selling this asset will be enough to buy this client from this asset. And I'm going to hit confirm of this. So that's all. And then, so as you saw, there's the screen changed, and this is kind of the second and then equally big feature that we think is in this product. Is we try to help the advisors not only do trades that make sense for their clients at the right time, but also making sure that they always keep their clients in the loop of things that they do. They bring a lot of value by monitoring and making timely actions in their portfolio, but oftentimes they forget or they don't even think about letting their clients know. And if you use any sort of modern service, you're pretty accustomed to getting notifications of anything that's happening on your behalf. You order food from a delivery app, you even know where your delivery person is at any given time. So at this point, we automatically generate an email that they very quickly can send to their clients and let them know what they did. So we took all the inputs. So at this point, we did rebalancing, and we let them know how often we'll do that, and then they can always reach back to us. So at this point, they can copy this email and put it into Outlook or Gmail, whatever they use to send emails, and that's done. And within 1 minute, they were able to do A, something very timely and actionable for their client, and B, close the loop with their client and let them know what they did, so they increase their perceived value. And as we've seen time and time again, the more touch points an advisor has with their client, the higher the satisfaction, and the more chances are that this client will stay with their practice. I'm going to head and copy this and assume, I could go to my Gmail and send this to my clients. And that's it. So there's nothing new here, because the settings of the portfolio are such that this runs quarterly. If this portfolio at some point diverges, we will get notification of new trades that the system generated for us. On that note, I'll send it back to John.
Fantastic. 1 second, Alex. Let me add you back to the chat, and here we are. Yes. So that's how the rebalancing part works. Obviously, if you logged in and saw us at the previous webinars, we can also perform tax harvesting, which is something you should be doing right now when the market is volatile. But because today we're talking about 401ks, IRAs, and tax sheltered accounts, there is no benefit in doing tax loss harvesting. Actually, you shouldn't be doing tax loss harvesting in these accounts. But let's talk a little bit more with everybody that is online right now. Usually, this is the part where you can ask any question. Like, imagine you have an advisor, a quant, a CTO of a tech company, all these people, you have them together. So ask any questions. We'll be here for a couple of minutes, and if you have any questions about 401k, IRA, as we said in the video, it's a great opportunity to invest more money right now. And we have a lot of people trying to time the bottom of the market, saying that probably it has more, it will go down more. And personally, I have no idea if it goes up or down. Nobody can make predictions, absolutely nobody. But what we know from statistics is that first, you cannot predict the bottom, and second, you will never know if you missed the bottom. The market has been recovering for a couple of days, and I'm not saying that it has fully recovered, but I've seen people saying that, you know what, I'll wait for the market to go down again in order to put money to my IRA, which is a terrible strategy. Like if you have money, you should always invest them as soon as possible and keep collecting the dividends. Spend more time in the market. Don't try to time the markets and what have you. Let me see if you have any questions here. Do you guys have any questions for us? And if there are no more questions, we'll just call it a day. Call it a webinar, of course, not a day. We still have to work. It's 10:30 here in Los Angeles. And we hope to see you in our next webinar next Thursday. We try to do one every Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel and also subscribe for our webinars. Like you can find our webinars right here. I'm posting them. And if you want to give a try to a product that we have for one-on-one consulting during these very rough times, you can give it a go. We give a huge discount. It's called not Together. I wrote it wrong, of course. It's called Together. So yeah, let us know if you want to try it out. If you have any questions, Alex and I are always there, even for non-customers, to answer any questions that we can. Thank you, Paul. Stay healthy and meditate. Of course, we'll get through this. And I think that's all from us. Alex, do you want to add anything? Alex, do you want to add something?
That's it. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Perfect. Bye, guys. See you. Bye-bye.